Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV, where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars. So, listen, you guys, I have been missing for 3 days. Yeah, it's been 3 days without any videos. It was unplanned, you guys, even though I knew I was going to be busy sorting out some personal stuff, but I thought that I was still going to be able to post videos over here, but it just didn't happen. It was like one day and then the next, and then the next, and I'm like, you know. I do apologize for not communicating, but we are back here, you guys. A lot has been happening. I've been watching, I've been reading. We have a lot to talk about. But the first video of the day, you guys, I want to talk about Thamba's the show My Inked World. I'm not going to review everything that happens on the show because a lot of it is BORED. Okay. But I want to talk about the decision to actually give Themba Broly a reality show, you guys. Okay, and then I'm gonna talk about this scene that happened between him and Nqobile, his baby mama. I've been trying to figure out how Themba Broly got a TV show. Okay. And I've come to a conclusion that he got a TV show because of the tattoos, you know? Because I don't understand it, you guys. He wasn't the one that won the Big Brother that season. It was Mpho that won the drama, which I do think that had they given Mpho the TV show and then just made Utemba like that extra baby daddy, maybe the show would be a little bit more interesting. And I just don't understand it, you guys, because his life is actually very, very boring. Okay, as much as he is tattooed all over his body, you would think that is a very adventurous guy. He does a lot, and also he's going to be sharing a lot about his life. No, I feel like it's that kind of a reality show where the main character or the main person that the TV show is about does not really want to go deep in terms of sharing his own life and his own experiences. What I mean by that, you guys, is that he uses his family, to they contribute more to the show than he does. Okay. And I don't know, you guys, at this point I'm just confused about the fact that a decision was made to give Themba the show, and also after the first season they decided that they wanted to give him the second season of the show. In this scene that I'm going to talk about here, you guys, he was actually going on about how he is the reason that Nqobile is where she is with life, because of course he had the opportunity that he had to do the Big Brother and then had the opportunity to do the show and then brought her onto the show. But I was sitting there thinking, but listen, your show would be even more boring without Nqobile, because Nqobile is the only one with the real story here. And I think Nqobile is the only one that is willing to go deep into those emotional things that she is going through when it comes to raising these kids alone, even though you are supposed to be there and not wanting to admit that you are not really a present dad. So, but all of the scenes that Themba is shooting with his friends, they're boring. They're talking about these tattoo shops that they were supposed to open last week. That they were supposed to happen. They're talking about the shop, the tattoo shops that they were supposed to open last season, and then this season they're still talking about them. I have not seen even a single one of them at a tattoo shop tattooing. Okay. Themba himself, I don't know if he is a tattoo artist or he just likes tattoos, because I haven't seen him tattoo anybody. So I don't know, you guys. I'm not sure about this show at this point. Okay. Why did Themba get the show? Why was it not Mpho that actually got the show? Also, he uses his family. For an example, last week it was his sister, because his sister had an issue with the fact that he is not taking care of her. And they ended up going on a date this week. And that was the only reason we got that, I guess, like a sinanyana in the last week's episode. And then this week's episode, the scene that made the show watchable was the scene with Nqobile. So that's why I'm like, why? Okay. Why did he get the show? Okay. Anyway, you guys, now Nqobile and Themba are having a conversation, and I think that the producers understand that you can't do a reality show and you are just surface. You don't want to go deep. You don't really want to talk about real issues, and you just want to sit here and pretend that you are this perfect dad that is present in his kids' lives when we all can say that you're not. And Mobile has admitted to, even though she doesn't want to admit that you are not really present for your kids, but you don't want it mentioned on the show. I think the producers understand that they can't get away with Mpho not important. They can't get away with Themba pretending that he is a perfect dad because everybody can see that he's not. So I think this scene was meant for him and Nqobile to have a deep conversation and maybe get an understanding of what Nqobile's complaints are about when it comes to Themba parenting their kids. What does she need? What do the kids need from Themba that they are not getting? But he's not willing to have this conversation that is very much important, that I feel like could make the show if he could just allow himself to listen to Nqobile and allow himself to be truthful to himself, because I don't believe that Themba deep down and he thinks that he's a present dad. I don't believe that. I think he knows himself that he's not a present dad, because he said even himself that sometimes he feels like he makes up for his absence by giving his kids things. Like he comes around when he has money, which is what Nqobile is saying. So I don't think that that guy doesn't know that, like deep down, he doesn't know that he's not a present dad. He knows it, but he just doesn't want to admit it. Wouldn't it be such a wonderful story if he really was willing to go there and maybe get to a point where he admits, listen, I would like to do better. How do I do better? He's a very difficult person to have a conversation with. A conversation goes well when he's not the one that is conversating. Is there such a word? Yeah. If he's not the one that is supposed to hold a conversation, the conversation will go very well. But when he is supposed to have a back and forth with somebody, it just becomes like, you know. So here, Nqobile is just saying, listen, what are we going to do now? Because apparently Themba has not been paying school fees and Nqobile has been paying school fees. you know you could see that he doesn't want to have that conversation because of course it exposes how he is as a father. But he does admit in the diary session that he hadn't paid the school fees, and Mobile had been paying school fees for a couple of months. And I thought it's probably more than a couple of months. Okay. And he says that he will take care of everything, because apparently at some point Nqobile couldn't reach Themba because Themba had lost his phone. Themba lives like a teenager. Sometimes they can't get hold of him. Sometimes he's lost his phone. Sometimes he's overseas and his kids don't even know that he's overseas. He lives that kind of a life. I just cannot imagine that Nqobile wajola no Themba and had the first child with him, had the experience that she had, and still decided that she was going to have a second child with this guy. As bad as he is in communicating, in being present, all of that, she still made a decision to have another baby. I don't know, maybe it was her making the wrong decisions while she was young. I don't know, you guys. So they do talk about that. He decides that he's going to pay the school fees. Now, Nqobile talks about how she feels like she's owed an apology because of how Themba talked about her and their relationship last season. Okay. This is where you guys, he loses it, because he's like, what do I owe you an apology for? I am the reason you are here. Okay, meaning that I'm the reason that you are doing this show. Maybe he even means that Themba is the reason why Nqobile even is able to host and DJ and all of that, because maybe she wouldn't be known if it wasn't for Themba doing the Big Brother. But that's not what Nqobile was wanting. She was saying, there are things that you said about our relationship last season that I feel I'm owed an apology for. Nqobile was not saying that she is there on her own because she made herself. Okay, she wasn't saying that. She wasn't saying Go to Themba didn't contribute to her making it in the industry. She was just saying there are things that I feel I'm owed an apology. Themba is not willing to listen, and it throws the biggest tantrum that a young boy would throw when you are trying to hold them accountable and responsible for some things that they've said and done in the past. Okay, so he goes off, says, I'm the reason that you are here. You used to work at Wimpy having a degree. Okay, I'm not even understanding why Nqobile was still sitting down and holding herself. Okay, you know, I'm like, yeah, I was working at Wimpy with my degree because I had to take care of your kids because you were not doing it. Okay. And also, was Nqobile was saying the thing of you don't have to come around only when you have money. Your kids need you, okay? Because I think Uthemba is that father that throws in money and then just goes away. Because the kids need money, but they also need you. So if you throw money and go away, are you a good dad? And also with him, he doesn't throw money. It would be better if he was throwing money every month. He was paying school fees every time that he's required to pay the school fees, but he's not doing even that. There are months where he disappears. He claims he's lost his phone. Then Nqobile has to make a plan with the school fees, and then but even physically he's not present because coming around is free. You just have to, well, it's not free, maybe he has to request an Uber or something. I don't know if Themba has a car because I haven't seen it. Okay, but I was just shocked by how much he wasn't willing to listen to Nqobile. I think he wants the show to go his way, and his way is everybody has to pretend that Themba is a perfect dad. And we all can see that Themba is not a perfect dad. And I think it will be very hard for Nqobile to lie and say that Themba is present when Themba wasn't even present. He even said that, listen, I spend more time with these kids than you do. And I was like, how does that happen when at the beginning of the season you were talking about how long it had been since you saw your kids? In fact, you hadn't told Nqobile that you were going to the UK. You know, she just saw it on social media that you were not around. How come? Even when you are with your kids, it's weird because they are not used to you being around, but you are saying that you are the one that has been around. I mean, Nqobile didn't even have words to respond to that. Okay. I don't know, you guys. I know that sometimes people will just make a decision when they have baby daddies like that to be like, listen, I'm alone in this. Let me just do it on my own. Okay, let me just pretend that he doesn't even exist because now I have to deal with the stress of raising these kids, but I also have to deal with the stress of dealing with him. So let me just even forget that he is existing and just raise these kids. But it's difficult to get to that decision, you guys, when you know he's around, especially with Themba. The kids know he's around, and also the fact that he is popular, or should we say famous, you know. And I'm guessing that maybe that's what makes it difficult for Nqobile to make a decision to be like, listen, let me just do this on my own, instead of me having to have these conversations that I'll be having all by myself. Okay. But what I got from this conversation, you guys, was really just the fact that Themba doesn't want Nqobile to raise the issue of him not being a perfect dad in front of the cameras, because he even like quit doing that scene. He was like, don't play with me, and he was leaving the scene because I guess he did not know that that is the conversation that we're going to have about him first disrespecting Nqobile last season, and secondly him not being around for the kids, and thirdly him not paying the school fees. Okay, nothing was favoring him, and because nothing was favoring him, he quit. You know, he was like, he's gone, he's not going to have a conversation. And he ended up deciding that he was going to insult his girlfriend by saying, listen, you used to work at Wimpy, as if working at Wimpy is such a bad thing. She had a job and she was earning money at least, you know, and she was taking care of her kids. Anyway, you guys, listen, like I said, I still don't understand why Themba got the show. But maybe people are watching it and enjoying it more than I am enjoying it, because if you get it, I mean, I guess if they're making a decision to give you the second season, it's because they really did get viewership for the first season. I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do now, because people watching that first season might have been because, you know, Themba was new in the scene. He had just come out of the Big Brother house, and there was that hype about him. I'm wondering if people are really just what are really watching this show this time, okay? But guys, he is not giving us much. People around him are giving us more than he's giving. So I'm wondering, why did he get that show? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngenithanda kakhulu.